Mostly cloudy but beautiful temperature day in downtown Cincinnati. And we welcome you to Great American Ballpark, the venue for the rubber game of this 3-game weekend series. The Reds, an incredible come from behind win yesterday to beat Colorado. What's in store today? Hi again, everybody. Alongside the Cowboy, Jeff Brantley and Jim Day, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome, as always, to Reds baseball. The last road trip, we talked a lot about the heart of the order. Guys were getting on base, the first three guys in a lineup. Not a lot of production from 4, 5, and 6. But our IGS bringing the energy, Cowboy tells us yesterday they had it going on.
Well, they brought some energy, all right. And when you're in a losing streak and things aren't going your way, somebody's got to step up, whether it be a starting pitcher, whether it be a position player. Well, it was the middle of the order yesterday, and boy, did they step up in a big way. Sometimes you just have to say enough is enough, and that ball by Schebler, that was plenty.
That was a go-ahead 3-run home run in that 6-run 6th inning. So now we turn the page and we look ahead to today. And let's start with the guys on the mound. Bronson Arroyo, your thoughts on him so far this year?
I think when you watch Bronson Arroyo, especially against a lineup like this, very aggressive lineup in the Colorado Rockies, that will be a big asset, I think, for Bronson Arroyo. They're going to be aggressive. They're going to be trying to get the bat heads out. Colorado Rockies like to drive the ball, like to swing the bats, hit the ball out of the ballpark. Arroyo's velocity is down. He's going to try to keep them off balance, especially with the breaking ball. Fastballs in. You'll see some balls that are hit foul and hit hard foul, but the biggest key for Arroyo is soft contact as the ball is fair.
Meanwhile, for a second straight day, we get a look at a very impressive young pitcher, the rookie Kyle Freeland.
Hard fastball, hard sinking fastball, and a hard slider as well. He pitches to contact. What he's trying to do is keep the ball on the ground. In Colorado, that's a great asset, and here at Great American Ballpark, it's an asset as well.
All right, when we come back, we'll go down by the Reds dugout, check in with our main man, Jim Day. He'll tell us more about that thrilling win yesterday and what a Reds debut it was for Mr. Wojciechowski.
to you by Chevy. Check out their award-winning lineup only at your Tri-State Chevy dealer. And by Skyline Chili. Feeling good? It's Skyline time.
Hey guys, meteorologist Brandon Orr here from Local 12. You know, we had the thunderstorms around yesterday. We have more on the way today. The difference between today and yesterday is we have no chance of severe weather. Not as much lightning as yesterday, just some occasional strikes, and they're going to be hit and miss. So there's going to be plenty of breaks in between to get the game in, but we'll have to watch radar for a couple of these showers popping up this afternoon. 76 degrees, so cooler than yesterday, but it's still going to be very humid. A cold front will sweep us dry. So when Cleveland is in town tomorrow, it's looking so much better. Enjoy the game here on Fox Sports Ohio.
All right, imagine being at AAA Louisville, and you're in the midst of an 18-inning game. In the 17th inning of that game, you're a pitcher, and your manager tells you to go get your spikes on because we need an inning from you. So you run down and you get your spikes. You don't think you're going to pitch. You come out, and then Delano DeShields, the manager, says, "Just kidding. I just wanted to tell you you're going to the big leagues." And this was like at 1:30 in the morning. And an afternoon game, he got into the game, and Asher Wojciechowski had the baseball day of his life. 1-2-3 6th, a 1-2-3 7th, a 1-2-3 8th. He retired 11 batters into the 9th inning, gave up a hit, was removed. Raisel Iglesias got the final out, but Wojciechowski got his first career major league victory, and he was literally the savior yesterday. What a story, and congratulations to him. The Reds would love to win a series. They'll be on the arm of Bronson Arroyo today. The wily veteran versus a rookie. Tom and Cowboy are next.
Of the Cincinnati Reds. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds.
40-year-old Brooksville, Florida native Bronson Arroyo set to make his 9th start of his 2017 season. And here's a lineup he'll be facing under manager Bud Black of the Colorado Rockies, presented by Menards. Basically the same group except for 2 spots down at the bottom of the order. They go Blackman, LeMahieu, Arenado, followed by Mark Reynolds, Carlos Gonzalez, and Ian Desmond. And the changes come at short with Valleca. And behind the plate, the longtime Red, former Red, Ryan Hannigan, and Kyle Freeland, the rookie, on the mound. The Mazda pitching numbers, and hoping to improve upon these numbers, is Arroyo.
Well, I think the biggest number that Arroyo would like to improve upon is keeping the opponents in the ballpark. And a lot of that has to do with continuing to lengthen out with the fastball, continuing to start to get some more arm strength as he moves along. He's had some ball games where you think, boy, he's really starting to get it, and then it kind of slides back a little bit. You hope today that he's got everything he needs against this Rockies lineup.
He had back-to-back starts prior to his last outing against the Cubs, where he pitched into the 6th inning, gave up 2 earned runs, then worked a full 6 and gave up 2 runs in San Francisco. He delivers strike 1 to Blackmon, and we are underway. But then certainly a step back last week against Chicago at Wrigley Field. 5 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs, including a pair of home runs. Blackmon has had an outstanding series. He's having an outstanding year. .320 batter, 9 home runs, 25 extra base hits for this Colorado center fielder.
I think for Bronson, Tom, especially early in the ball game, the more foul balls that you see to the pull side, that tells you that the Rockies are not judging the pitches from Arroyo. They're way out in front.
Arroyo's never fared well. A lot of pitchers can say the same thing against Colorado. They traditionally have been among the better hitting teams, and you know all about pitching in Denver at mile high altitude. There's, that looked like it was strike 3. Very, very close on that 2-2 breaking ball. Three and 2 now on Blackmon. Came back with a breaking ball, and this time gets a call, strike 3.
Nice adjustment from Arroyo. Blackmon not happy at all. But the first breaking ball that Arroyo threw from the side, it really stayed off the plate, a good 5-6 inches. This one much more borderline, and for right now, Bronson is going to pitch on the borderline.
So now the second baseman, DJ LeMahieu. .284 batter, a home run, 14 runs batted in. He had a hit, was on base twice, scored a run, knocked in a run. The series opener was on base 4 times and scored 3, and he has a 1-out single here in the opening inning. Let's take a look at the Reds defensively, presented by Ford. Same outfield we've seen the first 2 games of the series. Cozart an off day. Peraza replaces him at short. Alcantara a rare start at second base, and Mesoraco coming off a solid game yesterday. Mesoraco had 2 hits, 2 RBIs, scored twice, was on base 3 times. Alcantara also figuring in the action in the opening game of the series.
This is the part of the lineup that you have to wade through a little lightly. Arenado, Reynolds, Gonzalez, and really even Ian Desmond. Those 4 guys, they provide the power in this lineup for the Rockies.
Slow breaking ball spun up there by Arroyo, and way out in front was Arenado. Reds kept Arenado hitless yesterday. He had 2 hits in the opener, including a 2-run home run.
You know, Tom, when you talk about hitting, hitters learn how to speed up their swings or be quicker with a guy coming out of the bullpen throwing the ball 100 miles an hour after they faced a starter throwing maybe 94, 95. But how many hitters actually practice slowing down their swing? I want to swing slower. Well, that's not an easy task, especially against a guy like Arroyo.
It looked like he went around, and Arenado knew he did. He didn't need confirmation from an umpire. It's 2 strikeouts in the inning for Bronson, and 1 more out to go in Mark Reynolds.
You'd like to tell yourself to stay back. You know the slider's coming. But when you're used to being quick and used to being trying to jerk the pitch out of the ballpark, tough to stop that swing.
These Rockies come in at 27 up, 17 down. They have a 1-game lead over streaking Arizona in the National League West. The Diamondbacks have ripped off 5 straight wins. The Dodgers are 2 back. Runner going, swing and a miss, throw down to second, and they got him.
Nice job by Mesoraco. Wow, that was a money throw right there.
1 hit, none left. Mesoraco guns down LeMahieu, and the Reds come to bat when we return. Their starting lineup presented by Menards. Hamilton, Peraza short today. Votto at first. Duvall, Suarez, Schebler. And a ladder third of Alcantara, Mesoraco, Arroyo. And the Reds get their first ever look. The Mazda numbers is 23-year-old Denver native. Went to Thomas Jefferson High School in Denver. His 9th career major league start for Kyle Freeland.
A lot of hard stuff. The sinker away from the right-handers, the hard slider in, likes to keep the ball down, keep the ball on the ground. That's quite efficient when you're in Colorado, and it's efficient here at Great American Ballpark.
Billy Hamilton on base 3 times yesterday. A couple of walks, a bunt hit, a stolen base. Did not score a run. And Hamilton had a pair of hits, knocking in a run, scoring a run here on Friday night. High bouncer down to Arenado, and he went to barehanded. And that'll be an error on Arenado. Rare.
Hit him in the eye. Kicked off of his index and thumb as he went to catch the baseball, and it looked like it hit him flush into the eyeball.
Sure did. And it opened up a cut.
Anytime the ball catches you, and really any blow above the eye, around the eyebrow, that's such a sensitive area. It swells quickly, and if there's any kind of open wound, it's kind of like a boxer. That type of wound tends to bleed down into the eye, and if you can't get it close, if you can't get the bleeding stopped, it's going to be tough to play. Actually, that one is below the eye.
Well, with the size of the baseball, it probably made contact with the entire eye itself. The swelling up top and maybe the seam causing the cut right underneath the eye. This guy is such a great player.
And a gamer. I imagine right now he's lobbying, look, just fix it, stop the bleeding, and let me play. And Bud Black is more concerned about making sure that his top player has no issues again. He keeps saying I'm good to go, and Bud Black and their trainer are continuing to talk about it.
We mentioned the fact not only is this guy a great offensive player, but defensively he's won 4 consecutive Gold Gloves. That is his first error of this season, and rarely ever misses a game. 5 in the last 2 years.
Now that ball that Hamilton hit took an awfully funny hop out in front of home plate. That's one of the reasons Arenado had to barehand the attempt anyway, because of the speed of Hamilton. You know, a lot of times, Tom, that ball bounces in front of the plate, especially if it's a slider down and in. As the ball hits the ground, it's got some different type of spin to it, and I imagine that's what happened with Arenado there.
All right, so now Hamilton, the league leader with 21 stolen bases. He's been thrown out just twice. Got a huge jump. And no way for Ryan Hannigan to have even a prayer to throw out Hamilton. That's number 22 of the year.
Any type of leg kick whatsoever, if you bring the knee up, you're giving Hamilton almost 3-step head start. That's on the pitcher Freeland, not on the catcher Hannigan.
1-0 on Peraza, comes in with a 7-game hit streak, and he drops a bunt foul of the third base line. That did not appear as though they were asking Peraza to advance the runner with a bunt. That looked like he just tried it on his own, and maybe it turns into a hit while moving Hamilton down the trail.
I think that's a good idea by Peraza. He's a good bunter. You're bunting the ball towards a guy that just got hit in the face with the ball. You're trying to take advantage of the situation.
Runner takes off for third, and Hamilton is in there safely. Guy's something else, man.
Yeah, you watch the delivery of Freeland. It takes him a little bit to get the ball to the plate, even though he's trying to quicken up. The knee comes up. You can forget about it. I don't care how quick you get rid of the baseball behind the plate. You give Hamilton a 2.5-step head start. Might as well put that back in the holster.
Hamilton 10 better than the next closest pursuer, Miami's D. Gordon. The surprising name on that list is Paul Goldschmidt. There's talk about Goldschmidt perhaps making a run at being a 40-40 player this year. 40 or more home runs, 40 or more stolen bases in the same season.
It's not always about speed. Many times it's about picking your pitches that you run on. And we know Goldschmidt is an awfully intelligent player.
It's a foul ball off the bat of Peraza. Reds trying to jump on the board there early. This is something they have not been doing. I mean, they've been giving up first inning runs by and large. In fact, the only game the Reds have not given up a first inning run was a game started by Amir, where he actually did give up. That was a 5-run first inning. It's been a regular occurrence here for the Reds. There's ball 4. They gave up 1 yesterday, 2 in the series opener, 5 the series finale in Chicago. Starting to say the only game they did not allow a first inning run in recent memory was the middle game of that series against the Cubs. They allowed first inning runs in every game of the 4-game series in San Francisco. Peraza has 8 steals and 9 attempts, but you can tell he's just starting to learn a lot of the pitchers around the league, and obviously this young man he's never seen. Votto takes inside, ball 1. Of course, Hamilton and Votto extended streaks of reaching base safely. Votto comes in having reached base in a season high 23 straight games. And for Hamilton, albeit on the error a moment ago by Arenado, now has reached base safely in a career high 21 consecutive games. Reds trying to jump on Freeland here in the opening inning. There goes Peraza, pitch taken high. They'll throw down, and Jose has his 9th stolen base. Clearly the scouting report, even with a left-hander on the mound, is you can run against Kyle Freeland.
It all comes down to release time, and when you bring that knee up to the waist as you see Kyle Freeland do, base stealers with speed like Peraza and Hamilton, they will steal you blind, and there's nothing Hannigan can do about it.
Votto looks at a 2-0 fastball and there's a strike. Joey at 289, 11 home runs, a whopping 35 runs batted in for Votto, ranks among the league leaders in a host of offensive categories, as he generally does year in and year out. Only Reynolds, Zimmerman, Lamb, and Harper with more knocked in than Votto, and he has a chance to climb past a number of those guys right here and right now. They're tightly bunched. Going to leave that one be. Down the left field line towards the corner, and that is a foul ball.
You know, that was interesting there, Tom. Joey Votto sets up almost identical every time he gets into the batter's box. But on that pitch, he seemed to be expecting a fastball, which is what he got. He slid his back foot almost out of the batter's box to try to give him a little bit of an extra edge and a little more of a split second to react to the fastball.
Second and third, nobody out. 2-2 to Joey Votto. And again, able to put the bat on the ball, foul it off, and hoping for something better on the next pitch.
Well, there is no doubt right now Votto is trying to find that shortstop third base hole, especially with Valleca playing right behind Peraza at second base.
Check swing and a floater foul. A lot of souvenirs over on that side of the field during this Votto at bat. This will be the 8th pitch of it. Came with a fastball in and missed. Told you Freeland grew up in Denver, Colorado, but pitched collegiately not too far away from Cincinnati. A star at the University of Evansville in Indiana. Drafted by Colorado in the first round, 8th overall in 2014. Now the 3-2 pitch to Votto. Ground ball in the hole at short. Fielded there, and the throw is in time. It's a nice pick by Reynolds. It's a really nice pick by Reynolds. Scoring is Billy Hamilton, and the Reds have a 1-0 lead. Votto is 36th run batted in.
Well, he almost got that ball in the shortstop third base hole. Valleca had to move quickly to his right, backhand the ball, and throw on the run. And if not for a nice pick over there by Mark Reynolds and a nice stretch, Votto may have had himself a base hit.
That's the hardest kind of pick for a first baseman there. Is the one that's bouncing about 7, 8, 10 feet in front of you, not the short hop so much.
And the fact that you have to backhand it.
So Peraza at second base. A run in, 1 out, and here's Duvall. Takes on the outside corner, a strike. Adam, 2 runs batted in yesterday, was on base 3 times, scored twice. Take a look at Colorado defensively. Presented by Ford. Same outfield we've seen the last couple of games. The only changes, Valleca at short and Hannigan behind the plate, making his first start back there. Tony Walters, their regular catcher. Hannigan has really put together a very nice major league career for a guy who was signed out of a tryout camp over a decade ago by the Reds. 0-2 the count on Duvall. There goes Peraza. And a swing and a foul ball out of play. Peraza had that stolen, maybe standing up.
Hannigan shaking his head. The thing about a catcher, especially a veteran catcher, you're looking not only at the pitcher but through the pitcher to the runner at second base. Hannigan can tell how far Peraza had to jump.
It is not a warm day. There is some humidity in the air. There's no debate about that. But the temperatures are quite cool in the very low 70s today. And that one got a piece of Duvall. The Reds don't have a hit in this inning. An error by Arenado. A couple of stolen bases by Hamilton. A walk to Peraza. He has a stolen base. And now a hit batter. Just got the jersey. And that'll bring a visit to the mound by the one-time Reds reliever, Steve Foster, now the Colorado pitching coach. Well, they're facing one mighty hot hitter right now. And that's Eugenio Suarez. He has homered in consecutive games for the first time in his major league career. In the last 4 games alone, Suarez has 7 hits, 3 doubles, 2 home runs, and 5 runs batted in. This was yesterday in the 5th.
And that was after having 2 walks earlier in the ball game. And Senzatella just decided, all right, I'm not walking him this time. Suarez hits it out dead central.
Suarez on base 3 times yesterday, walked twice, hit a solo home run, knocked in a pair of runs. And now a chance to drive in Peraza, and now he's caught. Very, very poor base running there by Peraza.
I think Peraza thought he had the mechanics read of the youngster Freeland, and Freeland fooled him.
So now 2 away in the inning, and Suarez takes outside, ball 1. Those are the numbers we talked about the last 4 games for Suarez. Ball at first with 2 away in the inning. And this young man Freeland is struggling with his command, much like we saw yesterday with another youngster in Antonio Senzatella. He wound up walking 4 batters in his 5 innings of work. First time we've seen the snap throw there by Freeland.
Well, Freeland came in having walked 22 batters in his 46 innings, so it tells you that he has a propensity to miss out of the zone. But because he has so much movement on the fastball, he gets a lot of ground balls as well.
Told you for the first time in his career, Suarez has homered in back-to-back games. This was a monster blast in the 4th inning here on Friday night.
The big key for Suarez right now, and one of the reasons he's starting to swing the bat better as he did earlier in the season, is he's just being more patient. Wow, a high strike call.
Was it ever? That almost looked identical to the pitch before it. I guess that one caught the upper part of the strike zone. So 3-2, the runner Duvall will get started over there at first base. 2 outs in the inning, and here it comes to Suarez from Freeland. Ground ball left side, and Arenado will throw out Suarez. The Reds get a run without a hit. They leave a man and lead 1-0 at the end of an inning.
#1 mobile app for live Reds baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Reds home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live video, highlights, radio broadcast, statcast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. And Jim Day, Zach Kozar not in the lineup today. He's dealing once again with a sore left wrist. Now, he's had all the tests on that wrist. There's no structural damage, but it's just one of those things that crops up in Major League Baseball where he says he'll go like a week, and then all of a sudden it crops up and it's sore and he's unable to hit. And he says there's not one area, one thing that he did that he remembers hurting that wrist. Best thing would be extended rest, but in a Major League Baseball season, he's not going to get that. So it's just one of those nagging things that he's going to have to deal with.
All right, Jim Day, glad you're feeling better as well. Reds a 1-0 lead as the Rockies bat here in the second inning against Bronson Arroyo. He allowed a 1-out single. But LeMahieu was thrown out trying to steal second. Arroyo struck out a couple of batters in the inning. This one appears to be playable or very close to it. Nope, about 2 rows out of play. Reds beginning play after ending that 7-game losing streak yesterday. 20 wins against 22 losses.
Oh, they hit him.
And that one got Mark Reynolds.
Fastball in from the side. And this one just stays in there. Caught him in the bottom of the elbow. Now, folks, I know you'll say, well, that was only 83 miles an hour. Surely that didn't hurt. You get hit with a baseball, I don't care if it's 70 miles an hour, it hurts. Especially where that one hit Mark Reynolds. And normally that would be a pitch that Reynolds would be easily out of the way from. But he's trying to stay in there and wait so long on that slow breaking ball away. Couldn't react in time.
Now the right fielder, Carlos Gonzalez. Very slow start for the normally hard-hitting Gonzalez. Excellent numbers in his career against Arroyo. We were starting to tell you earlier that Bronson has had his struggles through the years against the Rockies. 13 starts, 15 games, an ERA and even 5, and has allowed 16 home runs in 77+ innings. In the air, Reds have a big shift on this left-handed batter. And so there was no way the third baseman Suarez would get anywhere near that. Mesoraco gave it a go, but out of his reach.
Yeah, I'm sure for a lot of these Rockies hitters facing a guy like Bronson Arroyo, your head is saying wait, 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 but your body is saying swing, swing, swing. It's tough to wait on a pitch that slow.
Schebler waiting, and he's got it for the first out of the inning.
Gonzalez looked like he was right on time with that swing, but the last little bit of bat whip, he hit it right off the end of the bat, and I mean the very end.
That'll bring the left fielder Ian Desmond to the plate. Playing in his 20th game of the year today. Longtime Washington National. One outstanding season last year with Texas and then signed by these Rockies. .293 batter, a couple of home runs, 10 batted in. Another routine fly ball. This one Billy Hamilton's way. 2 out.
If you've ever come to the ballpark and watched batting practice, the batting practice coaches are not throwing the ball that hard. They're just trying to throw it in there, let the guys swing the bat. For the most part, that first time through batting practice, most balls are not hit. Like for base hits, they're hit on the ground, they're popped up a little bit. The second and third time through, they start hitting the ball off the walls and hitting them out of the ballpark, and line drives in a little more consistent fashion.
Milwaukee in limited playing time, a .245 batter, 3 home runs and 9 runs batted in. Very off balance, awkward swing yet again. Told you the other day, Milwaukee has 3 brothers and one we got to know quite well here. Chris Milwaukee came up through the Reds organization. Spent a number of years in the major leagues, primarily as a backup player. Swing and a miss, and that's all for the Rockies. 3 strikeouts in the game for Arroyo. 1 man left. Reds lead 1-0.
Looking for a perfect night out with your girlfriends? Don't miss this year's A Night of Their Own, presented by St. Elizabeth Healthcare. Enjoy dinner, throw out a pitch from the mound, snacks and fly balls in the outfield, meet manager Brian Price, and more. Plus, this year you'll get cool Reds swag, including a shirt and a bag. Sign up today at Reds.com/baseball 101. All right, yesterday we learned that Cowboy Jeff Brantley, we'll get back to this,
Fly ball to center that Blackman will run down off the bat of Schebler. 1 out. Go ahead, Jim Day. I know where you're going with this.
So do I.
We learned yesterday that Cowboy could walk on stilts. Who knew? But we want to know, can you pull off the juggling? Because if so, we got a job for you.
No, I can't juggle. My wife can juggle. I can't. Maybe I could walk on the stilts. She could sit on my shoulders and she could juggle.
I think that'd be a very bad idea. And I would venture to say that Ashley thinks it's perhaps a worse idea.
She wouldn't want to fool with that. I'm highly confident.
Well, we learned that the other night. Even when you're walking around in your black sunglasses with your mullet, you are quite confident in them. So it should be as no surprise you'd be quite confident walking around on the stilts with your beautiful bride up on your shoulders juggling. Boy, that just sounds like a great idea. Alcantara takes outside. 3 balls and a strike.
You know, speaking of my family, today is my son Mason's 10th birthday. I'm not there, but I know he's had a great weekend, having a great day. Happy birthday, buddy.
Happy birthday indeed.
I love you, big man.
Oh, that young man would like to have another shot at that one. He might get the ball. Let's see. Let's see if they flip it up to him. Yep, he got it. All right. Well done. Look at that smile. He reached out there, just popping out. He actually saved those 2 little girls behind him, just getting the glove on it. Good for you, young man. Short right field. Who wants this? Gonzalez calls off LeMahieu. 2 are out in the inning.
How about the ball Mesoraco hit yesterday for the home run?
Mesoraco on base 3 times yesterday. He had 2 hits, a single, a home run. He also walked. He scored twice and drove in a pair. That was by far his best game in 3 years. This one looped into short left center. It'll fall in a base hit, and that's not exaggerated.
Devin's starting to look more like Devin Mesoraco from a couple years ago. That speed is coming back. The judgment of the off-speed pitches is coming back.
Well, you think to 2015, Mesoraco played in 23 games. He did not hit a home run. He drove in 2 runs. Last year he played in 16 games, did not hit a home run, and knocked in 1 run. So to say yesterday was his best game in 3 years is right on the money. Many forget the 1 year that Mesoraco wound up in the All-Star game in 2014. He had 25 home runs, drove in 80 runs. But he was on the disabled list twice that year. Those numbers were put up in just 114 games. So Mesoraco now for 4 consecutive years has found himself on the disabled list.
And I think that's something that Devin Mesoraco wants to avoid at all costs here in 2017.
'13 was the last season that Mesoraco played healthy, and he was not a regular player that year. Arroyo thought he had drawn ball 4. That ball is stung by Arroyo, but right at Blackman, and that'll end the inning. 1 hit, 1 left. We play 2. Reds out to a 1-0 lead.
Here on Fox Sports Ohio, we'll set the table with Reds Live, the pregame edition. First look at the lineups and so much more. It's brought to you by Ray St. Clair Roofing. Tomorrow night, the Indians come to town. Battle of Ohio Part 1. 4 straight games against the Indians. 2 here and then immediately 2 in Cleveland. Josh Tomlin got that ERA up at 6.86. And Scott Feldman will be looking for bounce back. 6:30 for Reds Live tomorrow night as the 2 from Ohio tangle in the Buckeyes State.
It's going to be a fun series. It always is. You know, the Indians have been they've been a hard team to figure the early part of this year. You know, a lot like the Cubs, although they have played better than the Cubs from a record standpoint. And that one shot down the first base line off the bat of Ryan Hannigan. And he'll have a single on the first pitch against his one-time battery mate, who just looked over at him as if to say, you got to be kidding.
Well, Hannigan was trying to wait as long as possible. Arroyo is still talking to Hannigan right now. Trying to wait as long as possible. Actually gets jammed and still gets it down the first base line. He'll take it.
So now the pitcher Freeland, one would assume he's up there to bunt, and not good form on the first one. That was Arroyo's reaction after that base hit by Hannigan.
But it looked like Freeland was moving as he was trying to bunt. It's a sacrifice. You're supposed to just stand in there and sacrifice yourself.
And now breaking ball, strike 2. He has 2 hits and 13 at bats. He has 2 sacrifices on the year. We're starting to talk about Cleveland there for a minute. You know, the Cubs are 1 game over 500. The Indians are 3 games over 500, the 2 pennant winners from a year ago. But Cleveland starting to get some momentum here. They've won back-to-back games down in Houston against a really good Astros team, at least a really good Astros team so far this year. They let him swing away on a 2-strike pitch, and he drives one over the head of Duvall. So maybe there was a method to the madness of Freeland. He's saying, let me swing the bat.
That's a pretty good piece of hitting there by Kyle Freeland. Squares around the bunt, pulls the bat back, stays short and quick, caught it on the barrel. Now, of course, if you're Adam Duvall, you're playing in because it's a left-handed pitcher. You're trying to guard against the flare. Freeland just hit it over his head.
So now Bronson with work to do. Runners at second and third and nobody out. And the top of the order settles in the form of Charlie Blackmon. He struck out looking leading off the game.
You and I were talking about this the other night. It's always a danger zone when 7, 8, 8, and 9 they get on base. You got 1 out or no outs, and all of a sudden you roll back over to the top of the order.
Want to know on Blackmon. Breaking ball is hooked into right field, and Schebler will make the catch. Both runners will tag up in advance. Coming in from third is Hannigan. On to third goes Freeland, and we're tied at 1. Blackmon is a leadoff hitter now with 33 runs batted in this year. That's a stunning total.
Guy makes contact. And solid contact at that.
Infield in for the Reds. Runner at third with 1 out, and it's ball 1 to DJ LeMahieu. You know, for Blackmon, his triples, his 9 home runs, his 33 batted in, and his 57 hits are the most in all of baseball by a leadoff hitter. And now the Rockies have their first lead of the game on a single by LeMahieu to score Freeland. 2-1 Colorado.
Well, those last 2 at-bats by DJ LeMahieu are about as perfect of a swing as you can get against a guy like Arroyo. Short and quick. Waits as long as possible, just trying to take the ball right back up the middle, and he's successful in both instances. Did not pull off the ball at all. You could see him really drive the knob of the bat towards the pitcher to stay inside of the baseball.
LeMahieu was thrown out trying to steal in the opening inning. Duvall will run this one down on the sinking line drive off the bat of Arenado, and that's a second out of the inning, and 1 more to go for Arroyo here in the third. Rockies have the most wins and the best winning percentage in the National League. In fact, their 27 victories, the most in franchise history through 44 games. And it's only the 3rd time in franchise history they've been in first place through 44 games. So you think about that. It's the first time since 2006. They also did it back in 1995 when they had the Blake Street Bombers. What a lineup that was.
I remember that team.
Told you about Arizona. They've won 5 in a row.
Dante Bichette. Boy, did he love hitting in Colorado.
I mean, you had a whole host of guys.
Castilla, Andres Galarraga, Ellis Burke.
Larry Walker came along shortly thereafter.
Hammer City.
What an incredible player Walker was. I mean, of all the guys, as far as an all-around player, offense, defense, running, power, average.
He had it all.
He had it all. Had a hard time staying on the field. Was frequently injured. But what a great player. Of course, he would go on after leaving. Initially came up with Montreal, went to Colorado, and then would sort of have a second lease on his career when he went to St. Louis. Had some really good years for the Cardinals.
He had a great arm in right field too. He didn't take any liberties on the base pass when he got the baseball.
One and two on Mark Reynolds. That looked pretty good. So now you got to make a 2-2 pitch on the leading run producer so far in the National League, Mark Reynolds. 39 runs batted in. Hamilton finding it as he comes in from center field, makes a catch, and that's all. But the Rockies take the lead. They get 3 hits, score twice, and lead by a run after 2.5.
To the Dayton Dragons last night. First 9-inning no-hitter. It was a combined no-hitter. First of all, Scott Moss went 6 innings of hitless baseball. Carlos Machoro and then Brian Hunter finished it up as a 2-0 win against Bowling Green. And congratulations to them. And Moss, who's now 6-1, won his 5th straight start. He was a 4th-round pick last year, so Scott Moss would be a name you want to file away.
That's great stuff. Congratulations to that entire team and that trio combining on the no-no. Here it's 2-1 Colorado. Reds have a top of the order against a rookie Kyle Freeland here in the 3rd inning. Hamilton reached on an error by Arenado, his first all year long. Stole 2nd, stole 3rd, scored on a ground out by Votto. It's the 5th time this year that Hamilton, once reaching first, has taken 2nd and 3rd in the same inning. He's just not become a good bunter through all these years. Well, for Red, it's a home run off the Toyota sign during our game today. Jennifer Sipes Stoll from Mainville, Ohio, will win that beautiful new Tundra you see out left center field here at the ballpark, and you can register for your chance to win. Just stop by your Cincinnati and/or Northern Kentucky Toyota dealer. That was an easy play by Freeland, and now on the first pitch of the at-bat to Peraza, and just like that, the first two retired.
Seemed like the first time around when the Reds came to the plate, it was just like that. Both Hamilton and Peraza were at second and third.
That takes care of the Reds quickly. 1-2-3 fashion for Kyle Freeland. We've played 3 in Cincinnati, and the Rockies have a 2-1 lead. Colorado a pair off Arroyo into third, and that's where we stand on our way to the fourth. Our mini countryman player profile, Carlos Gonzalez. Hard to believe he's now 31 years young. Signed by Arizona in 2002. He's been to the All-Star game 3 times, won 3 Gold Gloves, a couple of Silver Sluggers. He nearly won a Triple Crown back in 2010. When he hit .336, 34 home runs, and 117 runs batted in. He never made it to the major leagues with the team that signed him first, Arizona. They signed him as a 16-year-old. He was in a big deal when the Diamondbacks ultimately made a run to the National League Championship Series. Ball in the air and hit a long way down the right field line, and fair home run for Carlos Gonzalez. Stayed straight down the line. You were thinking from a left-handed batter you might start to see some hook to that ball, but no.
That's a problem with a hitter like Gonzalez. When he starts to get his timing down, especially with that big leg kick that he's got out front, Really doesn't matter how hard you throw it, where you throw it, or when you throw it. He seems to be right on it. Hitting right around that 325 mark since the 11th of this month, and he is climbing.
We were talking about Gonzalez in 2007. Diamondbacks felt like they needed a big-time pitcher in their rotation, and they got him. But they traded Gonzalez to get Dan Herron. This one swung on and fouled out of play. The Rockies got him a year later. That was in a Matt Holliday trade. When the Rockies got not only Carlos Gonzalez, they also got closer Houston Street in exchange for Matt Holliday. This one is playable. Duvall's got it one away. And Gonzalez has been a regular with the Rockies ever since.
And you watch Gonzalez when he swings, he's got that Coors Field type swing that really is conducive to his contact. He's not just a line drive up the middle kind of guy. He's downtown Freddie Brown.
You know, you sounded a little bit like Jerry Narron the way you just said that with your southern twang. You know, Jim Day. What did you refer to him, Jim? You want to pick that up real quick?
He was right down the middle guy.
See, Cowboy hadn't heard a lot of this, Jim.
Jerry Nairn was a baseball guy.
Oh, you boys are killing me.
That's in the air, left field, but he had other guys, right, Jim? I mean, he went down the whole litany of guys he had when he was a manager of the team, right?
Gotta have a speed guy, energy guy, keep the line moving guy, power guy like Griff and Dunner, Kearnsey, and you gotta have a glue guy.
That is good stuff, boy. And so those of you at home that have not heard that before, I mean, Jim has done that for Jerry Narron.
Yes. He was, I forget who he was coaching for. I came on the field one day and he called. He's like,
Milwaukee,
hey,
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Hey, Jim. I'm like, oh, no, here we go. Heard you do an impression of me. And I'm like, oh, no. And he said, heard it's pretty good. So he laughed about it. We had a laugh. He's a good guy.
A really good guy. Glove side for Suarez, waiting on Votto to get to the bag, and that's it. Solo home run by Gonzalez. Colorado with a 3-1 lead.
Mike Trout. Oh, he's a showstopper. Perhaps the best all-around player in the game. Home run here, number 14 on the season. That made it 7-0 in New York. And the Angels are just blasting the Mets today. Check out our unlimited baseball break brought to you by T-Mobile. White Sox reportedly were finalizing a deal with Cuban outfielder Luis Robert. A lot of money in that one. And speaking of the Mets and the aforementioned, Terry Collins considered walking Mike Trout with the bases loaded in the 9th last night. Decided at the last moment against it. Trout had a sacrifice fly RBI, and the Mets did hold on to win that game. And Matt Adams, no longer a Cardinal. He was acquired by the Braves for a minor league infielder. With Freddie Freeman out, they went out and got Matt Adams.
Well, at least you got to admire the fact that the Braves are going out to try and make a move. You know, sometimes you just bring up a young guy and try to patch it together. What Matt Adams has left, I'm not sure anybody knows. I don't know if he even knows. There's a hot smash, and all of a sudden the Reds are making a lot of easy outs here in these last couple of innings.
Now this is what
quick outs.
This is what we knew coming into the ball game, that Freeland got a lot of ground ball outs. In the 2nd inning, everything was in the air. Other than that, every out has been on the ground. And that ball there by Duvall was hit hard, but it's hit right at the wrong guy, Nolan Arenado.
Reds are trailing by 2 as they bat here in the bottom of the 4th inning, and that's ball 1 to Suarez. Seven pitches to get the last 4 outs for Freeland. He went through Hamilton, Peraza, and Votto on a total of 6 pitches in the 3rd inning. And then retires Duvall the first pitch of this 4th. Number of games already underway. They were rained out at Wrigley Field yesterday. Brewers and Cubs just starting in the 1st inning. The Giants, ever since that game last Friday night where they beat the Reds in 17 innings on the Buster Posey home run, have been white hot. They are going for the sweep against the St. Louis Cardinals later on. Well, in fact, they're getting ready to start here in a few minutes. And that's in St. Louis. Cardinals were playing so well, and now all of a sudden they've lost 4 in a row. The Brewers, meanwhile, have won 4 in a row. And Milwaukee 7 games over 500. The Central Division leaders, a 2.5 game margin better than the 2nd place Cardinals. You see the way the Central stacks up. Everybody, pretty tightly bunched together compared to some other divisions around baseball. You look at that American League West. Texas won 10 games in a row, and they're still 6.5 games out of 1st place. That's how good Houston has been.
What's funny about that list is the Reds were at the top of it about a week ago.
Yep. Well, why not make Great American Ballpark your family day destination? Next Sunday home game will be June the 4th. Thanks to Klosterman Bakery, you can get half-price Reds tickets. We've got face painters, mascot races, carnival games, so much more. Kids 14 and younger get a play ball bat and ball set. That'll be on Sunday, June the 4th. For tickets, log on to Reds.com. Love to have you come down here. Now Schebler. Now that's a way to come to a ball game.
He's got his catcher's gear on, ready to go.
Got to adjust that thing, get it just right so we can see everything going on around him. Look at him. I mean, that is a big league look right there.
I like that.
We're going to keep an eye on him, see how long that stays on his head today. Schebler smokes one into center field. So the Reds have something cooking on a one-out walk to Suarez, followed by a single from Schebler, and Alcantara coming up.
Schebler is raking left-handers right now. Hit that home run, 3-run hack jack yesterday. Had a single against a left-hander yesterday, and that bullet back up the middle.
Reds down 2. They have 2 on with 1 out. Alcantara popped up to short right his first time up. Breaking ball in there, a strike. Arismendi Alcantara, a grand total of 37 at bats. And here we are working into the 7th week of this season. He was playing regularly and playing beautifully in spring training. Really came on strong, especially with a bat the last couple of weeks out in Arizona to lock down a spot on this Reds opening day roster. But such is the story many times on many teams. A backup player just doesn't find a lot of playing time. Slow roller, foul. All right, apparently a little work to do there.
I want to see him eat an ice cream cone through that thing. He's ready.
He is ready. I mean, you know you're ready when you just bring that to a game, right?
Exactly.
0-2 on Alcantara. Now take a look at this. They gave him a baseball. Somebody there you see. All right, now watch this. How many times have we seen this kind of thing, right? Take a look at it. Didn't have quite the arm to get it back. See, that's where you start to lose him. You know, it's one thing to have him put it on. He's feeling good about himself. But then when mom and dad want to start taking pictures, that's when things go south. Right?
Let's go walk around the ballpark, Dad. I want to see some stuff.
Down to third. There's one. They'll turn it over. And a double play will end the inning. 1 hit, 1 left. We played 4. Rockies in front, 3-1.
Fellows upstairs are talking about all the home runs and extra base hits hit this year. So we did a little research looking at the home runs over the last 3 seasons through May 20th. In 2015, they were down, but there were 30 fewer games through that date. But look at the rise. 2016, 1350, 2017, already 1,523 home runs. The Reds have 54 as a team. And the big fad now is talking about what you guys were talking about, players trying to lift the ball and maybe changing their swing. So if you want to talk about hitting, you go to the best hitter on the field, and that would be Joey Votto. And he has said that some guys, he's seen them trying to change the swing to lift the ball, and it takes them 2 or 3 years to develop that swing. But he himself says, I want no part of it. I want to be able to do whatever I want with the baseball at any time. I want to be a complete hitter. So some are pointing to changed swings, lifting the ball, if you will, and others are pointing to the physical makeup of the baseball this year. So if someone can figure out baseball, let me know.
Well, this one is lifted into right field, and that will clear the wall by the pitcher, Kyle Freeland. His first major league home run. So Freeland in this game not only doing it on the mound, he's also doing it at the plate. He has a double, the first of his career, and now a home run and an RBI, both first in his career.
Well, he doesn't really look like a pitcher swinging the bat. He looks more like a hitter swinging the bat with that open stance, the toe tap, and then back to the plate. He put that one right on the barrel. I'd say being a left-hander, he probably played a little first base in his time.
I think you're probably right. That ball is foul off the bat of Blackmon.
You notice when Blackmon was running down the line there, he never stopped. That ball that's rolling down the first baseline, depending on the field of play, and this is not his home field, so he doesn't know exactly how that line is sloped. He sprinted all the way through the bag. There's a lot of times that ball will roll foul and then roll right back over that first base line. He never stopped for a second, hustling all the way down the line. He saw the ball on the foul side, but he never held up at not one time.
And a lesson for defenders out there. Now, Royo had a bird's eye view of it, and he noticed that ball was going to continue to roll further and further foul. But you know, on a play like that, if it's hugging that line, the second it goes into foul ground, make contact with it with your glove or your hand, kick it, do whatever you want to do. The bottom line is that once it's foul, you got to touch it, because it might hit a little rock or something and come right back fair again.
You're right.
Well, Cowboy, you brought it up before the game ever started today. The one area where Bronson Arroyo would need to improve is keeping the opposition in the ballpark. He had allowed 11 home runs in 41 innings coming into the game today. And now Colorado has homered in each of the last 2 innings. 13 home runs given up. Duvall's got it for the first out of the inning.
Well, the first time through the lineup, these first 4 guys in the lineup, Arroyo has handled pretty well. Now this guy's had 2 singles right back up the middle, but the big guys he's handled pretty well, except for the swing from Carlos Gonzalez. That's really only 1 batter, but the pitchers killed him today.
This ball is crushed by LeMahieu, and that's another home run. Two singles and a home run, 2 batted in today for DJ LeMahieu. And that makes it 5-1 Colorado here in the 5th. Reds again are probably going to have to get their bullpen busy. A few bodies beginning to stir around there, but no one up and throwing yet. And this Red starting rotation right now is just in complete shambles. It's really a shame with all the pitchers that they have injured right now. Started right from the very beginning. Here's a ball one hopping the wall off the bat of Arenado. He's coming into second, and he'll go in standing up with a double.
Well, the Rockies right now are right on Bronson Arroyo. It's the third time through the lineup, and it seems like they're starting to square up pitches that they were hitting off the end of the bat earlier. You can see Arenado get back up on top of the plate, and he's just going to hook anything he gets, and he smoked that ball.
First time we've seen Mac Jenkins come jogging out of there. Normally it's a very slow walk from the first base side dugout here at Great American Ballpark. It's probably safe to say if anybody gets loose, at least at this juncture of the ball game, the way the Reds have had to plow through relievers, it would be Stevenson. And yep, he is the one that is starting to move around out there.
Yeah, Stevenson has had to learn here early. When you're in the bullpen, you don't get that 15 minutes that you get as a starting pitcher to get loose. You get 15 pitches.
You know, win, lose, or draw, it'll be interesting to hear some of the comments from Arroyo after this game is over. We told you about the 2 starts prior to his most recent start leading up to today's game, where he had pretty good success. He was pitching in here at Great American Ballpark against the Giants. They were not swinging the bats well at all. He went out to San Francisco, same team, big ballpark, 6 innings, 2 runs, but then kicked around at Wrigley and 5 runs so far today through just 4 1/3 innings with 3 more home runs. And Arroyo has just been brutally honest. And when you're 40 years old and you're coming back after basically missing over 2.5 years of pitching due to injuries, he has said all along, the batters are going to tell me whether this is something that I continue to do or not do. I know everybody and his brother that has watched Arroyo pitch and all those outstanding years he had, not only on the field but off the field. He's just been such a solid guy ever since they acquired him, and to bring him back and to give him a shot this year. But his thoughts will be interesting after the game today. Intentional walk given to Carlos Gonzalez. So runners at first and second base with 2 out. And here's Desmond, who's fly to center and popped to left.
And Desmond has really been trying to lift the ball against Arroyo. And it's normally about this time, Tom, you get to 70, 75 pitches with Bronson, and he starts having to, it looks as though he's trying to force pitches instead of the ball just coming out of his hand with ease. Because in the early going, he had some break on the ball, he had some sink on the fastball. Even the strikeout to Mark Reynolds there, the ball was just spinning. The speed is what got Reynolds out in front, or the lack thereof.
Suarez will play to first, and that'll do it for the Rockies in the 5th inning, but they get a pair of solo home runs, one by the pitcher Freeland, the other by LeMahieu. 5-1 Colorado. Reds baseball on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Cincinnati Children's, changing the outcome together. And by your local Ford dealer. Ford, go further. Always send out a special hello to those watching at Cincinnati Children's today. Hope you're having a great day. They had a great day, the Redlegs run, honoring the winners in the different age groups, raising better than $125,000 for the Reds Community Fund while the team was out of town last weekend. So thanks to all who were a part of it. Mesoraco, Arroyo, and then Hamilton. This one's in the air, but will stay in the ballpark. So Arroyo is going to bat here in the bottom of the 5th inning with the Reds down by 4. Reds just have 4 position players on their bench. What with 8 pitchers in their bullpen right now as part of their roster. A very, very light mist. The rain begins here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
You know, you watch Freeland, this youngster for the Rockies, Tom. He's gotten a lot of ground balls, but he's not really pitching predominantly in the bottom of the strike zone. Every once in a while he'll get down there. He's got an outstanding slider that he throws on both sides of the plate. That was nasty.
It's the first strikeout of the game for Freeland.
Not normally a strikeout pitcher, but you can see that big sweeping slider, hard downward break. And a lot of the Reds regulars on that pitch that's starting off the plate and breaks back to the outside corner, that's the pitch they're beating in the ground. The sun is shining about as bright as it has so far today, and it's raining.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Very bizarre. You know, all this cloud cover we've seen a lot over the weekend at times is supposed to completely get out of here as this day moves on. It's supposed to be a spectacular day tomorrow. Bright sunshine. And gone swinging again on that hard pitch down and in to Hamilton. Back-to-back strikeouts. Freeland's putting it together and has a 5-1 lead at the end of 5 innings. Health Month this May. Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, in their commitment to replacing stigma with hope and improving the lives of families and those affected by mental health conditions. Learn more about how to be stigma free and visit foxsportssupports.com. Tell you what, Fox Supports has done just incredible work of giving publicity to so many wonderful organizations over the last decade. Basically every year those of us who work full-time at the Fox network get a chance to vote. They'll have 8 or 10 different charities, and I think we picked 4. And one is in every sport. Basically baseball will adopt a particular charity. The NFL will do the same thing. College football will be added to that this year along with NASCAR.
Well, they seem to be bringing awareness to areas of need.
Sure.
That most folks want to push underneath the rug. And that's really not how you handle it.
Right.
Well, you can really see the Rockies hitters really waiting now. Almost a double clutch with the hands there from Valaika as the pitch was coming to the plate.
And here's another one that will find the seats off the bat of Valaika.
Well, the 2 foul balls that Valaika hit, he was right on them. And then that pitch was a little bit further out over the plate, and he was right on the barrel.
Four home runs in the last 2 innings and 1 batter. Stevenson was up earlier. The Reds let Arroyo bat in the bottom of the 5th inning, trailing 5-1, and send him back out to the mound here for the 6th. And the first batter in the inning hits a home run. So now Ryan Hannigan. 1 of 2. He started the Colorado scoring back in the 3rd inning when he just hit that little jam shot roller down the right field line.
Nice
Suarez almost caught in between there and came in to get the short hop.
It's the part about playing at third base. You don't always get to pick your hop like you do at shortstop or at second. And Suarez did a good job catching it on the short hop. If you back up at all there, that ball eats you alive.
So Freeland doing it both on the mound and at the plate. He's allowed only 2 base hits. The 1 run came in the 1st inning. It was an unearned run after the first error of the entire year was committed by his Gold Glove winning 3rd baseman Arenado. And at the plate, his first career double, his first career home run, his first career run batted in. I have to check to see if that's his first career run scored after that double his first time up. Yep. So a day of first indeed, as was his first major league start. He earned his first major league win, recorded his first major league hit in his major league debut, and there's ball 4 to the pitcher.
And Brian's coming to get him.
This is tough to watch. Every single one of us who have had the fortune of being around this Reds organization for any amount of time have come to find that young man right there, and he's still young. I mean, 40 is a young man, to be one of our favorites to ever put on a Reds uniform. And
well, you pull for him so hard, you hate to see him get hit like this.
Ticket package for as low as $30. You get a Reds ticket and a limited edition Marvel Iron Man bobblehead. Buy the Marvel themed ticket package at reds.com/Marvel. And by the way, that Iron Man bobblehead is only available with the purchase of the Marvel ticket package. 6-1 Colorado. The day is over for Bronson Arroyo. And Robert Stevenson comes on, and he'll face Charlie Blackmon here with the Rockies batting in the 6th inning. 1 on and 1 out.
Stevenson a year ago pitched against this ball club, threw the ball awfully well against him. I wonder how that 94-mile-an-hour heater looks after seeing the 85 consistently from Bronson. I mean, those are some awfully good numbers from last year's April 19th.
Stevenson last pitched on Thursday in Chicago through a hitless, scoreless 6th inning. Of course, his best outing out of the bullpen so far this year was a game back on the 6th of this month against San Francisco. 3 hitless innings, earning his first professional save. And it's really starting to look more and more, and of course it's subject to change, what with this slumping Red starting rotation, but it's starting to look more and more like Stevenson might be staying in the bullpen. There was a lot of talk in spring training that he was trying to fight for one of those spots available in the rotation, but the way it's gone so far this year, and I know we're only 7 weeks into the season, but it's hard to imagine that the Reds are thinking anything else, if nothing else, Cowboy, by the fact that he has not started a game this year, and all the other pitchers that have been given a chance to start games.
Well, I think out of the bullpen, you don't have to have the perfect fastball command, because you're only facing the lineup maybe one time through, and that's if you pitch 3 innings. But for Robert Stevenson, he has all of the stuff as far as physical tools to start. It comes, the first thing is fastball command. He's got a great curveball, he's got a great changeup, but his fastball command is really what's keeping him from the starting rotation. And I think the Reds, in the back of their minds and their hope of hopes, are hoping that he can figure it out in the bullpen. Fastball command, in, out, consistent strikes. Then you can start to move back towards that thought process of starting him.
Now, when driven down the right field line into the corner, Schebler just now getting to it. They're going to hold the runner. That is the pitcher Freeland at third base after the double by LeMahieu. What a day he's having. 4 out of 4. 2 singles, a home run, and now a double.
Well, we talked about it yesterday. LeMahieu's swing has always been from the second base bag to the right field line, and he's a right-handed hitter. Stays inside the ball, tries to shoot the ball right center field gap down the right field line, and it allows him to stay back and see the ball longer, breaking ball, slower speed. That's why he was so successful against Bronson today.
It's a big batter in this game. I mean, we're just in the 6th inning, but there is quite a difference of thinking about coming back from a 5-run deficit as opposed to perhaps a 7 or 8-run deficit. And with a pair of runners in scoring position right now, it is imperative that Stevenson get this out. 1 strike on Nolan Arenado. And that one bounces up there, smothered beautifully there by Mesoraco. What a play we saw from Arenado at third yesterday.
Catches the ball diving to the line, but watch the throw. On his right knee, falling back towards the stands, and the throw was perfect. Mark Reynolds didn't even have to move.
And you saw the reaction time, 1.1 second to pick up the ball, the dive, to field the ball cleanly. 1.1 second. And he is the very, very best in the business. There's some might tell you, Manny Machado. I think you talk to most people, they'll tell you that if they had to have, talking about defense now, talking about one guy, this would be the guy. Some in Baltimore may argue. 2-2 on Arenado.
If you're a pitcher and you see a guy like Arenado at the plate, you got 2 outs, runners at second, third. Arenado expands the zone to try to drive these runs in. Last 2 pitches have been up right around the hands, and he's still going after that, trying to drive these 2 runs in. There are certain guys that will take a walk. There are certain guys that will expand the zone and do whatever they have to do to try to get the run in. He would be the guy in the latter category.
Two and 2 again, and here it comes. Nowhere near the strike zone. Got him swinging on a high fastball to end the inning. Rockies add another run and lead by 5.
In Braves, you can see it for as low as $12. First 20,000 get a Anthony DeSclafani bobblehead thanks to Rams Trucks. Reds.com for tickets. And speaking of Anthony DeSclafani, help on down the line, we hope. This was a first, the first baby step in his comeback. He resumed a throwing program finally earlier today, and we talked to him about it.
60 feet, 20 throws each, and You know, it felt good. I mean, it was just an easy workload. So, but I mean, it's obviously good to feel nothing and feel loose and stuff. So, yeah, I'm excited about it.
And Anthony was just excited to pick up a baseball and feel like a baseball player again. But it's a long road. I mean, this is literally stage one. He will throw off a flat ground. We'll lengthen it out to long toss. We'll finally get to the mound. Then it'll be some bullpen sessions. It'll be live BP and then sent out on a rehab assignment. So we're talking several weeks before a possible return. That's if everything goes okay. But step one today.
All right, Jim Day, thank you very much. We have a nice little visitor up here to the broadcast booth right now. Apparently this this feathered friend, take a look right here, just sitting here and still hanging out.
You know, I like birds.
I love all animals. You know, the other day this happened over in the Giants booth to one of these birds. Don't know if they were stunned or, you know, who knows what would have happened, but they just kind of hung out in there.
I'm glad
sitting in Dwayne Kuiper's seat.
I'm glad he's in your chair.
That ball in the air to deep left field. All right, the bird shows up and the Reds get a home run. No, they're saying not a home run. Apparently, well, we'll see.
Well, they're going to look at it. Well, maybe it hit off the yellow line and bounced back in. It's as close as you can get to the home run without getting one. That didn't look like it hit over the yellow line. Brian Price is going to ask him to look at that maybe. How long do you think that bird will stay up here?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if it doesn't feel well or if it's stunned or what's going on here. They're going to ask the.
I would like to take him down to the radio booth and have him eat some of those spiders that are putting webs in the booth. I'm not a big spider guy.
You're not?
No.
Well, he's just taking it easy right now. Let's get him a spinner. At least he can watch the game. How's that sound?
There you go.
Okay. I think he likes Zach, our statistician. I think that's why he's here. Everybody likes Zach.
I've never seen this in my life. You gotta be kidding me. I think he likes your cologne. We may get a home run out of this. I mean, if he hits the concrete on the back wall, isn't that a home run?
Yeah,
that's over. It's over the yellow part. I know I'm a little biased, but I'd give it to him.
Well, let's see. Here comes the verdict, or so we think. And nope. You know, I think if it hits the cement back there, I think that thing shoots up about 30, 40 feet in the air. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he's as close as he can get without it being a home run. Are you going to stand up for the rest of the game?
I am.
All right.
I don't mind.
Better man than me.
I'm going to move him a little closer to Zach, though. I think that's who he actually kind of likes here. So just right there. We're good. Now I got a little more room, and I won't be bothering you, Cowboy. I'm not bothering him, and we're good. So Votto takes. It's pretty amazing, isn't it?
I mean, that bird is just sitting there. He's in our booth.
I hope he's all right. I mean, he's just taking it easy. You see he's sitting right there on the edge of the chair.
Chill out.
Maybe rock him a little bit, kind of like you do a little baby. What do you think?
No, you start rocking him, he's going to fly.
I'm telling you,
out
he's
of
not
here.
going anywhere. He's not. I can just tell right now. He's not going anywhere. I don't know if he's just tired. Well, I don't want to be in the sun. Maybe you know what? If I were a betting man, now look, there's a bird right on the wire. Strick, is that too close for you? There's a bird sitting right on the wire in front of us.
Isn't that a movie?
It is. But if I were a betting man, and I think a lot of people at home are going to understand exactly where I'm coming from. Some of the younger generation might not, but some who have been around a little while, there's a real good chance that that is the wife and the husband has had enough. And he's decided to come and hang out with the boys.
So he comes up.
This is like his guy's night out right now, or guy's day out. As Votto drives one into left field, look out here. And that one will get out of here. All I know is since our friends showed up, double bomb. We might have to build a house for him in here.
It's a bird rally.
Or a rally bird. You know, they used to have the rally monkey in Anaheim.
Got it. Now that time the ball hit on the top of the yellow line or right at that wall, and instead of coming back, it goes right on into the seats. That's only the third home run that Freeland has allowed this year. And it came to Joey Votto, a left-handed hitter, and Freeland is a left-handed pitcher.
That is now 12 home runs on the year for Votto. He's knocked in 3 runs today, so he's now only 1 behind the league leader, Mark Reynolds, who has 39. Votto now with 38. There you have it, tied with Ryan Zimmerman. And the Reds are right back in this thing after the home run by Votto. Still nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th inning, and it's a 3-run game.
I just believe that Joey Votto can do at the plate whatever he puts his mind to. If he wants to lead the league in walks, he can do that. If he'd like to lead the league in home runs, he could do that. If he wants to lead the league in RBIs, he can do that. You hold your finger out there like they do a parrot.
I was thinking about it here in a minute. I'm going to let him chill out for a little while longer and then see what happens. Fox Sports Ohio and the Reds would love to send out a special happy birthday wish to Gene Pops Bardem from Union City, Ohio, celebrating his 90th birthday today. Pops and Gene Bardem.
Happy birthday, Pops.
Happy birthday for sure.
You're right there with my son Mason. Same birthday. Atta baby.
We'll look forward to announcing number 91 for Pops next year on this May the 21st. You're like in a state of shock over this, aren't you, Cowboy?
I just can't believe that the bird is staying there that long. Maybe he wants some of those peanuts you had earlier.
Well, I mean, I'd hate to all of a sudden stick, you know, he's talking about the finger to see if he'll climb on there, but because I'm afraid something, well, he's starting to move around a little bit now. All right. Hey, double and a bomb. Let's see what happens here, okay? You with me?
I'm right there with you.
2-2 to count on Duvall.
Look, we have 2 runs on the board since he got in here.
That's exactly right.
Now I'm assuming that it's a he.
Well,
because I don't know how to tell the difference with a bird.
Well, generally, if I'm onto something here about maybe just a little family dispute between these two, then generally it's a guy who kind of just says, you know what, I'm going to just step out for a little while and everything's going to be all right. There's a swing and a miss, and Duvall gone, 1 out in the inning. So She told him all the things he had been doing wrong
what I think
over about the last couple of
what
weeks.
I think you need to do is climb out on the wire and provide a little counseling for the bird on the wire and bring these two back together.
Look, I have enough problems at home myself. All right, I'm not going to get involved in their affairs, but I do know.
But you could talk to her about it.
Well, we could talk to her about it, but I try that with my wife, and it doesn't seem to do much good. 1-0 to Suarez after the strikeout of Duvall. It's 3 strikeouts in the game, and all have come in the last inning and a third for Kyle Freeland, who's closing in on 90 pitches now in the game. He does not have a complete game so far this year.
This is about the time the Reds went on their offensive tear yesterday.
Straight up in the air, Blackman backs up a few steps, and that's a second out. You can't take your eyes off this guy.
Just surprised that the bird has sat there that long.
I can't believe it. That ball killed by Schebler, and the Reds are within a pair.
Stay right there, Mr. Bird.
I tell you what, the way it's going since this bird entered the booth, we might have to build this bird a house right here.
I'm just amazed at the ability of Scott Schebler to stand in there the way he does against left-handed pitching. We saw yesterday single off the lefty home run. Today single off the lefty, and I mean that was a line drive rocket home run.
So the Reds touch up Freeland for a pair of home runs and 3 runs here in the 6th inning, and he will leave. They're going to bring on the left-hander Chris Russin Well, the Reds have put together a 3-run 6th inning, still batting here. And now the left-hander Russin comes on from the bullpen. Home runs in the inning. Votto a 2-run shot. Solo home run by Schebler. Reds within 2. Alcantara 0 for 2 is popped up to short right and bounced into a double play in the 4th inning. 15th game for Russin, has done a nice job. Opponents hitting just 195 against him. Reds have seen a lot of Russin through the years. You may remember he initially came up as a starter in the Chicago Cubs organization, made 7 starts in 2012, 13 of them in 13. Tapper to Arenado, and that will end the inning. But signs of life from the Reds offense. They get a 2-run home run by Votto, a solo home run by Schebler, and they're within 2 as we go to the 7th. Here in the broadcast booth, and no sooner do you show up, the Reds come up with 3 runs on a couple of home runs. So I'm assuming you're a baseball fan, and maybe you've always wanted to come up to the broadcast booth.
Nah, just call me the Rally Bird. I'm the Rally Bird. Just chilling, just chilling.
Are you getting along okay? Is that your spouse down there? Is everything okay at home? If you don't mind me asking.
No, we're having a little bit of an argument, but she likes the sun, I don't.
That one has popped up into the air. I want to get right back to the Rally Bird here, and that's out number 1 here for Stevenson in the 7th inning. Do you think you'd like to make this kind of your regular getaway right here in the broadcast booth, or would you like to have your bride come up sometime? I mean, it's up to you. What do you think?
Nah, this is a good getaway. We get sick of each other. You guys got it easy up here. You got an easy job up here. You guys talk for a living.
But you think we have it easy up here, and I agree with you. I'm not arguing, but gosh, it would be so awesome to be able to fly. I'm just stunned that you feel comfortable up here after really having never visited here before.
I'm very human friendly, and I like cowboys.
You like cowboys?
I like them and them boots.
But you never went down to visit him in the radio booth. Is that because perhaps you're a little bit shy around the cowboy?
I don't like cranky old men.
Oh, so you must be speaking of somebody who spends a lot of time with the cowboy. Is that accurate?
Bring a hand.
Do you think you could stick around for a little while and maybe get the Reds 4 more runs in the next half inning? Would you like to stay here for a while?
I'm the rally bird, yeah. Just chilling.
Okay. Well, are you getting a little concerned, though, about your mate down there?
No, she's
a little cranky, too.
Very cranky. Don't tell her I said so.
All right. We'll keep it between us. We'll come back and visit in a little while. Is that all right?
Sure.
Okay. All right. There's ball 4 to Carlos Gonzalez.
You know, if you stick around this game long enough, you will see just about anything. But that beats everything I've ever seen in my life.
Well, you know, I really admire the Rally Bird's honesty, because to fess up and to say, A, that, you know, he likes hanging out with the cowboy, but when asked why has he never gone down to the radio booth, he says he doesn't like being around cranky old guys. Fly ball to right center field. Who wants it? Schebler is there for the second out of the inning. So prior to the visit from the Rally Bird, look what has happened. 1 run and 2 hits, and now 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 home runs. More than welcome to stay as long as he pleases with that kind of track record, right?
I'm on board.
Now, see, we ought to start taking bets here in the booth. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us up here about, and we've got a whole press box full of writers and people in the media relations department about when the Bird's going to decide to leave. So we could all take action, right? Like out of that side of Caddyshack, you know, when Spalding is, well, we won't get into the details, but, you know, we start taking action on when all of a sudden he decides to leave.
He may not leave.
I don't blame him.
I don't either.
It's the best seat in the house to watch a game from, although he would probably be able to argue that if you're just hovering above, maybe like a camera behind home plate. Pulled foul. Now, if he hangs around for a while, Cowboy,
I'll take him to Montgomery Inn with me after the game.
I don't think he wants any chicken.
Well, he might like some
right.
ribs. They got chips.
Two and two to count on Valleca. Started 2 and laid off. Tell you what, when we get this final out of the inning, there's strike 3 called, and Stevenson taking care of business here in the 7th. So they will stand and stretch. The Reds are down 2, and you know, we started this inning together. Why don't you take it away going to Brink?
Well, I like to fly over this great land, so let's pause now for God Bless America.
Great idea.
Ready to rock and roll, we hope. Do the Reds have another comeback in them? Regardless, put a capper on this one. It's extended highlights, reactions from the clubhouse. It's Reds Live, the post-game show. It's brought to you by Performance Kings Honda.
All right, Reds coming to bat here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. They trail 6-4. Russon's still on the mound. And he'll be facing Devin Mesoraco, then a pinch hitter. And then back to the top of the order in Billy Hamilton. Rubber game of this 3-game series. Straight away center field. Hit pretty well by Mesoraco. And it is up against the wall. And Devin will stop there with a double.
Nice job, Mr. Bird.
It's Rally Bird to you.
That's correct.
So for those of you that are just joining us, you know, we brought him a little bread here. Now, when I try to get a little close, see if he'll try some of that. It's pretty good stuff.
Don't make him leave.
No. I'll feed him till October. They keep hit. They've almost hit for the cycle since this Bird showed up in the booth. I mean, think about that for a minute. They have a triple. They have 2 home runs, and now a double.
Now with Patrick Kivlahan with a chance to shine.
Reds have a tying run at the plate with the runner at second and nobody out here in the last of the 7th inning. In there, a strike. Chase that pitch up around his neck. Just off the inside corner. And it's even 2-2 on Kivlahan. Freeland, the starter, went 5 2/3, allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned. 3 of the 4 runs coming in the 6th when the Reds clubbed a pair of home runs. 2 runs shot by Votto, solo home run by Schebler. One out.
Looks like Blake Wood is getting up in the Reds bullpen. You get that leadoff double by Mesoraco, you would at least like to get 1 home at the very least in this inning.
2-0 now to Billy Hamilton. Popped up into right, and this will be the second out of the inning. So since a leadoff double, Mesoraco has not moved. Kivlahan strikes out. Hamilton flies out. And now Peraza, who has walked, bounced to third, and then tripled off the top of the left center field wall his last time up.
Like Bud Black is going to bring in a right-hander to face Peraza here with a runner at second base.
It's going to be Adam Ottavino. We have not seen him in this series so far. So Ottavino will replace Russin, who goes 1 inning, allows 1 hit with 1 strikeout. We're back in a moment. On the golf course and inside the golf zone with Jimmy Hanlon, presented by Varmint Guard. The golf zone tees off tonight at 8:30 after Cavaliers Live on Fox Sports Ohio and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Ottavino, the right-hander, takes over with a runner at second and 2 out, bottom of the 7th, and the Reds are down 6-4. Jose Peraza, the batter. Ottavino has been scored upon in 5 of his 18 appearances so far this year, but opponents are hitting barely over 200 against him. LeMahieu, a nice pick and a nice play to end the inning. Reds get a leadoff double, and Mesoraco stranded at second base. A 2-run Colorado lead. Game summary. Reds got on the board in the opening inning thanks to an error, a couple of stolen bases, and a ground out. But then it would be all Colorado for a long, long time, clubbing 4 home runs and opening up a 6-1 lead. But the Reds started flexing their own muscles in that 6th inning, getting a 2-run home run by Votto, and then a solo shot by Schebler to draw within a single run. Or draw within 2, I beg your pardon. It's a 6-4 game. Nice job by Robert Stevenson out of the Reds bullpen behind Bronson Arroyo. And now it will be Blake Wood on the mound.
Well, you've got 2 more at bats, and the Reds have shown that they can explode from the offensive standpoint. 2 runs back. Now it's up to Blake Wood to hold this game right where it is right now.
Stevenson goes an inning and 2/3 out of the Reds bullpen. Allows 1 hit, no runs, strikes out 2, and walks a batter. On the ground to Votto, and the feed to Wood. 1 out.
Alexi Amarista, boy, he has had an awfully good series. Started the first couple of ball games. Votto and Wood have been busy this inning. See if they can do it again. Another left-hander coming to the plate.
So 2 down here for Wood on a pair of ground outs to Votto. And back to the top of the order for the 5th time today in Charlie Blackmon. One and one to count. And now 2 balls and a strike on Blackmon. 3-2 to Blackmon.
You got a guy on deck in LeMahieu with 4 hits. Last 2 have been for extra bases. One of them cleared the bases. You got to make Blackmon swing the bat here.
3 balls, 2 strikes on the Colorado center fielder. And he swings the bat and hooks it into right field, his first hit today. So as Cowboy mentioned, what a day it has been for LeMahieu. He is a triple away, and he has one of those on the year from hitting for the cycle. Single, RBI single, solo home run, double.
And you can bet with Votto holding on Blackmon, he's going to try to shoot the ball right through that hole.
Blackmon has only attempted 5 stolen bases all season long. He's been successful 3 of the 5, including a stolen base in the 5th inning here yesterday.
I would think more times than not the Colorado Rockies offense is playing for that monstrous inning. Off the small ball type ball club, especially out there in that west and that light air.
Votto, that is a fair ball. And what a play by Votto, coming off the bag, then diving back over it to take away a base hit, maybe an extra base hit and another run. Votto to lead it off when we come back. In the 8th inning. Nice play here to end the top half. You thought LeMahieu would be looking to drive it that way. Speaking of driving, Votto with a man aboard his last time up. Drove one over the fence in left field.
Well, Ottavino's really changed his throwing style from what we've seen in years past. Looks like he's stepping across his body now lowered the arm angle almost a high 3/4, trying to get movement in on righties, maybe trying to sink the ball a little bit more. Not a bad idea when you're playing and when you're pitching in Colorado.
And a base hit into left field. Good way to get it started. Rally Bird is taking a perch right below our broadcast booth for a little while. I hope that little guy's okay. I was just in contact with Harry Date, who's been the head of the SPCA in Cincinnati for over 30 years. And I keep an eye on that guy tonight and see what's going on. Started 2, was able to lay off. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I mean, you wonder if Bud Black has even given any thought at all to bringing in his hammer Greg Holland with a 6-4 lead in maybe the 8th inning.
One and 2 on Duvall. And a foul ball out of play.
I mean, this is what you want if you're the Reds. You get your first guy on. One swing of the bat, you got yourself a tie ball game. You've got some guys coming up right now that can do it. We talked about it before this game ever started. Duvall, Suarez, Schebler, all swinging with power as of late.
One out in the inning.
Breaking ball. You see where Hannigan was set up. He was set up outside, even off the plate. That ball was inside, but still had some significant drop to it.
So 1 away here in the Reds' 8th inning. 1 on, and now Suarez, and that pitch is up and in.
Yeah, notice with Ottavino, he pitched on the first base side of the rubber with Votto at the plate, and now with the right-handers stepping to the plate, he has moved all the way across to the third base side. He's all the way to the very end of the rubber here, and he was on the entire other side with Votto at the plate from the left side. Trying to use that stepping across his body as a weapon, picking up that angle right behind, almost as if you're throwing behind the right-handed batter.
And a looper that'll fall in a base hit. Votto on to second base. So now the Reds have a tying run aboard. And the go-ahead run coming to the plate.
This ball runs in on Suarez, but he's still able to fight it off enough to shoot it the other way. Hit it almost on the label. Got enough of it to get it over LeMahieu's head. Now let's see if Ottavino moves back to the first base side of the rubber out of the stretch with the left-hander at the plate. And he will.
All right, Schebler digging in. He hit the big 3-run home run, capping off the 6-run 6th inning yesterday when the Reds rallied to come from behind and beat Colorado 12-8.
Schebler has had some big blows off left-handed pitching. It would be awfully nice for a big blow here. Doesn't necessarily have to be a home run. Find a gap.
1 ball and 1 strike, 2 on and 1 out. Reds down a pair. Ottavino to the plate. Breaking ball swung on and missed. 1-2 on Schebler. Schebler's gone 15 at bats consecutively without a base hit against a right-handed pitcher. Here today, he has 2 hits, both of them against the left-hander who started the game. Did he go? No.
You know, most left-handed hitters like that ball coming into them from a right-hander. Seems to affect Schebler in the opposite way, because he hangs in there with the lefties with the best of them.
Ottavino finally okaying the sign with Hannigan. 2 on, 1 out, 2-2 pitch coming to Schebler. Got him on the breaking ball again. 2 outs.
This is a pitch that has given Schebler a lot of trouble, at least in his short time here in the big leagues. And you can see it's not as though he swings over that pitch. He's swinging before the pitch ever gets there. He ran out of bat.
Well, now you get Alcantara coming up there as a left-handed batter. Alcantara today is hitless, all 3 at-bats coming as a right-handed hitter. Now he's had more at-bats, but he's also been a much better hitter from the left side this year. 24 of his 37 at-bats have come left-handed, and he has 8 of his 11 hits left-handed. Breaking ball off the outside corner. Reds have 2 on with 2 out, trailing by 2 here in the 8th inning. And Alcantara dribbles 1 foul.
Well, Ottavino, a steady diet of breaking balls to Schebler, and the same thing here to Alcantara.
Alcantara is very strong. There is some pop in that bat. Now, he does not have a home run so far in a Reds uniform. Threw a fastball that time right by him. Otto drifting a little too far off the bag, and Hannigan going to force him to dive back in there. Well, now Alcantara's got to find a way, somehow, some way, to put it in play. Inning started with a single by Votto. 1 out later, a single by Suarez, but Ottavino fanned Duvall and now jumps ahead of Alcantara at a ball and 2 strikes. And he went around. That'll be strike 3. So the Reds threaten but fail to score and still trail by 2 as we go to the 9th.
Ohio's been brought to you by Kroger. Stop by your neighborhood Kroger to save big store-wide. Great food, low prices at Kroger. By Cincinnati USA Regional Tourism Network. Stay close to CincinnatiUSA.com. And by Toyota. For over 30 offers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. (6-4). Rockies lead over the Reds as we head to the 9th inning. Blake Wood still on the hill, Cowboy.
And he has got the heart of the Rockies order coming to the plate. Arenado, Reynolds, and Gonzalez. Well, you really would have liked to have had at least 1 run there. You know you're going to see Greg Holland in the 9th, and he has been automatic in that inning for the Rockies this year.
Yes, he has. He's not blown a single save so far this year. Swing and a miss. We brought it up time after time. The Rockies, when you look at how good they have been late, when they lead after 6, 23-0. They lead after 7, 25-0. They lead after 8, 24-0. So the Reds are going to try and do something that no team has done this year, and that is come back to beat Colorado from the 6th inning on, and they have 1 more shot at it.
They got him in the 6th and 7th yesterday. This is a little different character coming in the 9th.
Ground ball to the shortstop, and Peraza will throw out Arenado, leading off the 9th inning. Wood in his 2nd inning of work. He allowed 1 hit but retired LeMahieu to end the inning.
Boy, Arenado, after having that ball hit him in the eye earlier in the ball game in that first inning, he's got some kind of shiner, quite puffy in the face.
This time down to Suarez. 2 away.
Well, we had sunshine up until just a couple of seconds ago. We got a dark cloud with a little bit of mist back in the air.
You had a sit-down interview with Bud Black the other day, and he had some comments about his closer, which we're going to share with those of you at home that may not have heard the interview before the Reds come to bat in the 9th inning.
But when your closer's 18 for 18, your manager loves you. And Buddy loves Greg Holland. Not just his stuff, but his internal makeup.
One and two the count on Carlos Gonzalez. Wood tries to put him away and just missed. Nearly rung him up.
Well, that looked like strike 3. Just off the inside corner. That's close. Well, as we mentioned earlier, Gonzalez starting to hit the ball much better here over the last 10-11 ball games. When you're taking pitches that close, you're starting to see the ball a whole lot better.
Bouncing ball to the right side. That's Alcantara. I tell you, the more and more I watch these Reds defenders that are playing out there in right field, and we've seen now what, Chris? I mean, Cowboy, we've seen 3 or 4 times this year on balls that go from the dirt to the grass. And you know, look, you played the game, not second base, but you played the game, and you know, maybe there's no difference whatsoever. All I know is it seems like the last handful of times that balls are not being fielded cleanly by infielders who are playing in the outfield grass.
I think sometimes, especially for the younger players that are not used to playing that far out, I think they try to hurry too much when the ball is hit to them because they're not in their normal spot. They're much deeper into the outfield, so they feel like I've got to catch it quick and make a quick throw because I'm a long way away from first base, and it's really not the case.
Well, that'll be an error on Alcantara.
That's more the mental part of the game than I think it's the physical part of catching the baseball. And I think when you look back at that play with Alcantara, it looked like he was trying to hurry. He was still moving his feet instead of getting set in front of the ball like you would if you have plenty of time standing on the dirt in the infield.
2-1 on Ian Desmond. If you're looking ahead of the Reds, bottom of the 9th inning, they'll have Mesoraco the pitcher spot, and then back to the top of the order with Billy Hamilton. But you got to keep him right here and right now. And Wood is even to count on Desmond at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Gerardo Parra has moved into the on-deck circle. That is the pitcher spot next. Oh, and there's strike 3 call, and that'll end the inning. All right, here we go. Reds one more shot at him in the ninth. Situations is Greg Holland. Cowboy caught up with the manager Bud Black about his first-year closer.
This guy's been an all-star. He's been a closer in Kansas City for years. He's, 40-plus save guy a number of times, pitched in playoff games, and he's got that closer demeanor. I mean, he really knows how to, turn the page, good or bad.
In Holland, you're talking about a pitcher who missed all of last year recovering from Tommy John surgery after 3 great years as, well, really longer than that, but 3 sensational years as a Kansas City closer. Saved 47 in 2013. They went to the World Series, of course, in 14. He saved 46, then 32 in 15, but then got injured. And Colorado signed him really about 2 weeks before pitchers and catchers reported to spring training. And what a pickup it has turned out to be already. Anybody in baseball could have this guy. He has held opponents hitless in 12 of his 19 appearances and was a National League's reliever of the month for April. Mesoraco with a 2-0 count. Reds are down by 2, batting in the last of the 9th. 3-0. Scooter Gennett has moved into the on-deck circle. And now the Reds will have a chance. Leadoff man aboard. Well, I tell you, I cannot remember. I don't know about you, but I know there are series where there have been more walks, but I can't remember more situations just in the last 2 days, because the first game turned into a rout. But I cannot remember in a long, long time where in big-time situations there have been more walks to get pitchers in trouble than we've seen the last 2 days.
And they do get you in trouble, especially the leadoff walks.
And it doesn't matter whether it's young guy or veteran guy. Saw 8 walks given up yesterday by the Colorado Rockies. Reds pitchers walked 6. And now a walk to lead off the 9th inning by Holland to bring the tying run to the plate. And there's strike 2. Boy, that's a nasty pitch right there.
I think that's the pitch that makes Holland so difficult to square up, is he can throw a breaking ball like this for a strike at any time, and that's got some serious tilt to it and some serious bite.
Reds batting here in the bottom of the 9th inning, down by 2 runs, and Jeanette has gone on strikes, 1 away.
Show the hitter that you can throw it for a strike, and then you bury it. First one was a strike. This one starts in, and the bottom falls out of it.
Billy Hamilton lifts a fly ball into center field. That's an easy out right there. Too easy. So now the Reds are down to their final out in this, the rubber game of this 3-game series, and it's Jose Peraza. Peraza today is 1 of 3. His walk, stolen a base. But I tell you, look back on that first inning, and granted, you know, you never know what would have happened, but the Reds had a run home. They had runners at first and second with only 1 out in that first inning, and Peraza, as a base runner at second base, got picked off. You never know. He tripled and scored in the 6th inning. Look out, Joey Votto. That was hit right off the very end of the bat, and Votto ducks right underneath it.
Man, that's slicing right back towards Votto's head.
Something Joe Madden was talking about the other day when we were in Chicago.
He almost got Baez twice in that ball game.
Went to the count on Peraza. He fights it off to stay alive.
If you're Brian Price right now, you're just thinking, we could just get Votto to the plate here.
That's the old ball game. So the Rockies take 2 of 3 over the weekend. Freeland goes to 5-2. Arroyo slips to 3-4. And Holland perfect on the year, 19 of 19 in save situations. Reds Live is coming up. Let's check in downstairs with Jim Day.
All right, Tom, as you guys talked about, it's always interesting to hear the brutally honest comments of Bronson Arroyo. He had a tough outing today. So we'll take you into the clubhouse, and you'll hear from Bronson as well as hear from the skipper before anyone else. Long list of highlights and more. It's Reds Live, the postgame edition. It's brought to you by Performance Kings Honda. And we're on the other side here on Fox Sports Ohio.